I feel like the theme of this reading vlog was honestly just like crazy plot twist. Like nothing terrible has happened yet, so now I'm just terrified. I'm like, when is it gonna happen? You guys know I'm not a big love triangle person. I already know whose side I am on though. Guys, I'm really confused. I have like 10 pages left. What is going on right now? Hi my loves, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. We're starting a new reading vlog this week and I am so scared for this one. I have been putting these books off for such a long time and so I figured the best way to theme this week's reading is just by reading books, finally picking books from my TBR that are incredibly intimidating to me. I've just been avoiding these books for a numerous amount of reasons. Some of them are just really intimidating to me because they're so popular and I'm scared I'm not going to like them. I'm not going to be one of the people who hype them up. Some of them are really just scary to me because they're really long or I just haven't continued the series in a long time and now that's kind of putting me off. We are going to be continuing a lot of series as well, but yeah, nevertheless, there is a lot of reasons for these books to be scaring me. And the first one we're going to be reading today is actually The Wretch Divine by Adeline Grace. Now, I got an ARC for this. It comes out, this is what the real cover looks like. It comes out in October. I have never read anything by Adeline Grace. Now, you might be like, Freya, why does this book intimidate you? Why? For one reason and one reason only. The font is size like 10. It is such a small font and it hurts my eyes to read. And yeah, I do have glasses, but like I'm lazy. That is purely the reason that this book intimidates me because the font is so small. Stupid reason, I know, but it's just been putting me off reading it. And obviously it's an ARC. I can't read it on like my Kindle or anything. So that's why I've been putting off this one. But apart from that, I am quite excited about it. I'm also a little bit intimidated by getting into a new author that I haven't read before. This is a fantasy romance from Adeline Grace. We are set in a world where there are demons and angels and basically, let's see our little blurb. Aurelia, she is a knight, which I think is really cool, female knight protagonist. And she's basically spent her life protecting her kingdom from demons. I think once she has her first kill, she inherits a legacy and bonds with an angel that gives you more powers. However, then it says the people closest to her start turning into the things she really fears. She has to team up with a demon, find a cure for the people she loves who are turning into the people she hates. It sounds really interesting. To be honest, this goes back to just like OG fantasy for me. I loved angel demon kind of vibe. It's giving Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It's giving Fallen, you know? I'm loving that. Hopefully a little bit better written than Fallen. I'm liking the vibe for this. That is all I know. I have started this a little bit, but I'm only like 30 pages in, so I really don't have that much to update. I will say so far, very atmospheric. Adeline Grace really establishes her writing very, very quickly. We get into the world really quickly. Honestly, action straight away. We were straight into it, which is nice. I don't like it when you have to really work for the action, if you know what I mean. I'm not always obsessed with that. And at the moment, I definitely am craving like some fast, more intense, high-paced kind of fantasy books. So really nervous, but excited to get into this one. I just feel like this week as a whole is going to push me outside my comfort zone, and that's what we need. So let's keep reading. I am 200 pages into The Wretch Divine. You know, when you're in those kind of few days where your brain just won't work, like you do stupid things all day, every day. I have been doing that as of recent, just like even just in my everyday life, like I'll, you know, put like the flour in the fridge or something like that. Like I keep doing random things and I'm like, okay, your brain is a little tired right now or something. Going into this, it has taken me a while to get my head around this world. Like I've kind of just been reading words on paper and going, I don't know what's going on. Like I am not taking any of this in. I feel like I've gotten around to it now. I'm starting to get the idea of things, which is kind of bad at 200 pages in. Like we've made a dent. From what I can gather so far, our protagonist, as I said earlier, she is a human and she basically has always thought that she was going to bond with a angel, and like there are some really powerful high up kind of angels. However, things start to happen, the demons start to take over the angel's kind of property, loved ones start to turn into the enemy, and the only way Aurelia can see a way out of this is by bonding with another demon. I'm really liking the atmosphere of it at the moment. I'm liking our demon angel atmosphere. I'm liking the world. It's very full on action. Like we just have kind of non-stop action. I feel like that's another thing that's made it a little bit overwhelming for me. I can't catch a break. I do feel like we have hints at a love triangle, and I'm just reading the little blurbs on the back and it's like a heavenly new fantasy sensation, angels, demons, and a love triangle that could damn them all. You guys know I'm not a big love triangle person. I already know whose side I am on though. Literally already know. Honestly, quite engaging writing, very atmospheric writing. It's kind of giving me similar vibes to Rachel Gillig. I feel like her books as well, they're ones that I have to be in a particular mood to read and really get into. Sometimes things will go over my head. So I feel like it's giving the same as that. Very dark, atmospheric, very lyric, lyrical gothic almost, like this is giving gothic. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really am. I'm liking the romance line at the moment. The bits of romance we are getting, I actually am enjoying them. So that's my update for that. And then I have been listening to the second book to the Diviners. Now, this is one that has been intimidating me for a while. I feel like just because they're quite thick books. Like these are very intense. No, they're not intense. They're just thick books. And I feel like that's just been putting me off. There were also moments in the last one that made me, yeah, it's over 600 pages. There were also moments in the last one that made me quease a little bit, and I'm really bad with like gore in books. I love a thriller, I love scary stuff, but I hate gore. So I definitely was put off a little bit at the end of the last book because of that gore and like queasiness stuff. So I've been a little bit nervous to get into this one because it just touches on subjects. Also, I listened to The Diviners on audiobook and read it physically. It was a great experience. So I was reading this and I was like, you know what? My brain is really not agreeing with reading at the moment. So I decided yesterday to start listening to an audiobook, and I was like, what better way? I had my Everand subscription renewed for the month, so I have 3 credits to use. So I was like, what better way to start than start to listen to book 2 of The Diviners on audio. Now I have to say, this is one of those books that I think I would recommend listening to the audiobook over reading it, because the narrator for this, she does such great accents for these characters. There are definitely a lot of lyrical elements in this as well, like we have songs and everything, and the way she sings them is so creepy and haunting, but also really captures that like 20s setting really well. I ended up just getting this one from the library. How many pages am I in? I've been trying to keep up. It's hard because the chapters aren't numbered, so it's a little bit difficult. 150 pages into this one. Definitely getting into it. I'm really enjoying this one. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I'll wrap it up. My neighbors are being very noisy, but I love the atmosphere of this. So 1920s New York, glamoring, glistening vibes, but also very creepy and spooky, folklore-ish, everything like that. I really like the element of that. Also, we're kind of looking into a bit of like politics and everything going on in the 20s with immigration and everything, delving into that and discussing some really important and honestly quite prevalent topics. And I was like, that's actually really refreshing. Like, yes, this is a YA series, and yes, you could probably read that and those kind of things would just be like an added, oh, okay. But like when you actually focus on them, it's really interesting how accurate this is historically and how it really depicts some struggles that people were having moving to New York in the 20s, or, you know, maybe their family had moved there and they've been growing up there their whole life, but they're suddenly experiencing this discrimination against them, and how that plays into our plot is also really interesting. So this has actually taken a big leap from the first one. The first one was like a 4.25. Loved it, but nothing too standout-ish. But this has really taken another leap. And I will say, I truly think that's because of the audiobook as well. I just think my characters have such a strong place in my mind now, and I love them so much that I can't stop thinking about them. Honestly, really great update. Loving both of these. They're both also very different vibes, so I feel like I can be switching between the two, even though I haven't read this physically yet. I've been listening to it completely on audio, which is so unlike me. It's a rare occurrence and I'm loving it. So we had a Patreon reading sprint this morning, which I always love because, oh, my little fluffy guy. I always love because I know that like reading is my job, but I am really bad at sitting down and reading for an hour with no distractions for numerous reasons. I think number one, I live with my partner, and so I feel like I'm always like chatting with him. I get distracted really easily if he's doing something. And then even when he's not here, like my phone's right there, I'll go on my phone, somebody will text me, I'll respond straight away, get sidetracked. I feel like I'm just really bad at sitting down and reading for an hour straight. Having a Patreon reading sprint is like my favorite things to do. So we had an hour this morning and I got quite a lot read. As I was saying last night, I was really struggling. Things weren't really clicking. My brain was having a hard time. However, I feel like sitting down and reading for an hour has helped so much because guys, I am having so much fun. Like I am having such a great time. Severin, I think you say Severin. I love Severin. He is like my favorite character. I'm actually obsessed with him. He has the most witty banter. It's witty, it's sarcastic, it's just hilarious, to be completely honest. It's very much reminding me of Jude from Stage Set for Villains. He was my favorite character in that. So if you like that, I feel like you'll really enjoy this. Everything is starting to click. The love triangle, not that big a deal. Just saying. But yeah, everything is starting to click. I will say it's pretty much been non-stop action the entire time. So if you like that, great for you. I think it like took a while for me to get up to that speed because of what I'd been reading. Honestly, I'm having a really good time. We also have these interludes and I'm curious to see how they're going to play into the overall plot, because I feel like at the moment it's definitely helping, like we're getting backstory, but yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to influence the overall plot. But I'm just really happy that I'm like enjoying it more now, that I am liking our characters, that I'm liking what's going on. I'm just going to sit down and read all afternoon because it's a Sunday afternoon right now. I'm like, this is the perfect time. I'm so happy that it's like clicked, that things are making sense in my head again, because for a while things weren't making sense. The whole magic system in this, I really haven't described it much, but it's based off like the divine scriptures. So the Resh divine, obviously. And like we have these things called the divine scriptures that kind of underlie everyone's belief system, I guess. And then we also have these things like we just got introduced to this power called glory. So it kind of feels like it's all very almost like religion based, but not at the same time. For a page update, 314. So we're like definitely getting our way through it. I think it's just under 500 pages. Anyway, let's keep reading and let's see where it goes from here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like I just went on a crazy ride with this book. Are you serious? That ending, it was so good. I feel like it was so much better than I expected. Wow, it really picked up towards the end. I will say, I did love Triangle, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't too irritating. It's not gonna stop me from liking the series. And I must say, Severin's given me giddy feelings. He's given me butterflies. And I don't usually get that for like male. He's giving Jude from Stage Set for Villains. That's what he's reminding me of. I can't wait for you to read this. I feel like the ending really picked up. Honestly, it was a pretty high action book the entire time. And the romance I feel like was really well balanced. It didn't follow your traditional fantasy plot progression, which is what I've like trying to be avoiding, because I love a fantasy romance. I really do. And when I'm in the mood, it really hits so well. But sometimes I don't like reading the same kind of books over and over again. I do want a bit of diversity, I guess, and this having number one, a unique kind of magic system and unique mythical system like demons and the angels and everything like that and bonding to them, but then having this non-typical like kind of unique plot progression really helped. And like, look, I will say like there was things you could definitely guess. It was a really entertaining read. It definitely hooked you. I loved Adelaine Grace's writing. I really truly did. I definitely want to read more by her in the future. Now I have been ready to pick up this next read and I'm actually going to start it straight away because it's really early in the night. We have a lot of time. I'm going to force myself to sit down and read 100 pages tonight. It's like 5 o'clock right now. I know it probably looks darker and later, but it's just getting dark really early at the moment. I have been avoiding this book for a long time. That is none other than Golden Sun. I'm terrified, guys. You all know that Red Rising for me was really just a okay kind of book. It didn't blow me away. I recently did a reread on audio, but I am going to read this one physically. I do want to. I actually think I prefer Pierce Brown's writing physically. I'm so nervous. Like, you don't understand. I actually think I'm going to have to go. But some reason this world doesn't click in my head. I can't picture it very well. I find it so much easier to get lost in a world when I can like understand the world and picture it in my head and immerse myself in it. And I have real trouble doing that. So yeah, anyway, let's start Golden Sun. Okay, it's a lot later. I feel like I have some thoughts. I am only 80 pages in. It's taken me a lot to get used to this world again. It's going to take me a lot. I'm not going to expect to be fully immersed in this too quickly. Maybe like 150 pages in, maybe that's when I'll really get into it. I know myself and I know that I can take quite a while to get used to writing, to get used to being back with our characters and get used to being in a sci-fi setting again, because I haven't been in a sci-fi setting in a long time. And honestly, I find them really confusing. As I said, I have really like a hard time picturing them in my head. I will say Pierce Brown's writing, definitely prefer reading it. It's been really fun experimenting with audiobooks because I can really like figure out what I prefer reading, what I prefer listening to. My preference experience with different authors. Like, for example, the Diviners series I love listening to more than reading, but this, I think I definitely prefer reading it. Pierce Brown has such a unique way of writing. He says the most basic things, but then he puts the words in an order that I wouldn't expect, and it sounds like a dramatic, epic way of saying this very normal sentence. Very unique. I haven't ever read a book that does that before. So far, I'm enjoying it. I will say, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether the writing is different. I don't know whether it's because we're kind of more in the action, and it very much feels like the first book was like a prologue to this book so far. I mean, I'm only 80 pages in. I can't say too much, but we're straight into it. And I feel like it's definitely helping. I'm not having to get adrift of like this entire world. Like I was like, oh, I needed these reminders, but now I'm in it. I feel like I don't have too much to say, to be completely honest. I'm going to keep reading this tonight and see how far we can get in. But it's very much straight back into it, straight back into the action, which I'm here for. About at page 130, say my thoughts now. I feel like I have more thoughts on it. Okay, first of all, enjoying it a lot more than the Red Rising already. So much more entertaining. Red Rising, as I said earlier, feels so much like a prequel to Golden Sun. It just, what's going on now feels like the beginning of the series. Like it feels like how the action is going to start building up. Whereas Red Rising really like just set up our characters. We just started to get to know our characters. One thing I am struggling with, guys, there are so many characters. Why are there so many characters? There is a little glossary at the front with some of the characters continuously going back. And also the names are not that easy to remember. Like they're kind of Greek Roman influenced names. So they're not like your generic names that are very easy to remember. Speaking of names, a lot of them are really similar. One in particular that I keep mixing up, Victra, and then Virginia. Now I know that they are very different names, but when you see them on paper, I kind of get a little mixed up. And then like Tiberius and then Tactus, they're just like, they're similar letters, okay? And sometimes when I don't need to pronounce the names out loud, I'll just look at the letters and not really know how to pronounce them. So like when I see the letters and they're really similar to other letters, then I get confused. I know that's so bad of me. I understand that. That is a me problem. But yeah, I'm kind of having a little bit of trouble with the names. So that's one thing that's making it a little bit difficult. I also just feel like I am reading it at such a slower pace than I expected. I feel like I would have gone through so many other books by now, or not, I would have finished a book by now, but it is taking me so much longer to read this book than I thought. I am really taking my time. I feel like if you miss a sentence, you miss a very crucial part of the process. Like you miss one of Darrow's really key thoughts and then you're kind of screwed for the rest of the chapter because you're like, what's going on? There's no speed reading here. Speed reading does not exist, which isn't a bad thing by any means, but I do think it just like slows you down a little bit, makes you be a little bit immersed. It is clicking now. It's starting to click a little bit more. I still find this world quite complicated to understand. I think that's just me in sci-fi settings. I really struggle to understand and like picture sci-fi settings. Also, I posted on Instagram saying that this is my current read. You all terrified me. You all were like, you're going to just be destroyed. You're right to be scared. You're about to be a mess. I just finished the book. I'm a mess. Guys, I'm terrified now. What has this book got in store for me? I don't know. I'm hoping to do a reading sprint today. So hopefully I'll do that later today and we can get a good chunk of it read. But as I said, I definitely think this is going to take me a little bit longer than I'm used to. Also, it's just really confusing in me because I'm like, yes, this is a sci-fi futuristic kind of world, but then also we're inspired by like Roman mythology. Isn't making a lot of sense. And like that's just, again, a me problem. But that is like a really complicated thing in my head. It's not clicking for me. So I'm struggling a little bit with that as well. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I liked Red Rising. So that's a good start. Well past halfway through Golden Sun, so made a lot of progress. I did do a reading sprint yesterday and that was for an hour. What was interesting about that is I'm not going to be able to like see how much I'm reading per hour, like my average kind of reading pace for a book, unless I do an actual reading sprint like that. Usually in an hour I read about 100 pages. So that's my kind of average. I read like 50, 60 pages yesterday in an hour. So this is taking me a hell of a lot longer than normal, just because, as I said earlier, how intricate this writing is. And I feel like you have to really pay attention to every single little bit in order to be able to know what's going on and everything. And just so you don't miss anything. There have been a few moments in this that my jaw has hit the floor and I didn't see that coming. And I feel like I'm really happy about that. The thing is though, I'm scared. Now that you guys have all said like, oh, get ready to cry or get ready to be a wreck, like I'm just scared now. Like, what's gonna happen? When does it happen? I'm like 120, 130 pages away from the end. Like, nothing terrible has happened yet. So now I'm just terrified. I'm like, when is it gonna happen? Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you specifics of when it happens. But what I was struggling with in the first book, and then I would say for a good like third of this book, is as soon as I put the book down, I'm not really immersed in it. And then I pick it up and it takes me a good like 10, 20 pages to be immersed in the world again, just because I've said before, it's quite a complicated world to me. Like, it's not clicking in my head. So it takes me a lot to be really immersed in this world. The past few times I've picked it up, I have found myself instantly back in it. And then when I'm not reading it, I am thinking about it and where our plot could go from here. I feel like things are really making sense now. And instead of just like grasping at straws and trying to understand what's going on, I'm actually like invested in the plot and I can follow everything a lot easier. The whole class system is really interesting to me. Very Will of the Many-esque. I feel like this was me with Will of the Many as well. It's just Will of the Many is a lot bigger a book. So it took me a good 200, 250 pages for Will of the Many to click. And I feel like that's almost the equivalent for this. Like, it's taken me the first book and a little bit for everything to click and start to cement down and feel like I know what's going on. So it's a really good feeling when that happens. And I am really, really enjoying my time in this, honestly. I'm really finding the whole, what led me to Will of the Many was thinking the whole like class system and having like this hierarchy based on like color and status, and that determines your wealth and your position in society. That's really always interesting to me. It's very like dystopian to me, like the suppression that people have to undergo and how that fuels them for certain situations. I really like that. I feel like it just creates this sense of like urgency and intensity in our book, and I live for that. Like, that's what gets me invested in this story, and that's what will make me not be able to stop thinking about it. I'm really curious to see. I know Emmy as well. She really wanted me to read this one for like my books on my TBR. It was Jamie's pick, but she backed it up and she said it was a 5-star read for her for last year. Emmy's pretty hard to impress for sci-fi fantasy. So I feel like the last quarter of this book has got to be like crazy good, right? Guys, I'm really confused. I have like 10 pages left. What is going on right now? Maisie is like so confused. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God, talk about leaving things to the last minute. Wait, no way. I feel like I need to just like leave this microphone here for my last few pages. What? How is this happening? How is this real? What is happening? What is happening? So I see why you guys wanted me to film. I'm speechless. Talk about leaving things to the last minute, because I was truly like, I haven't had that bad reaction to this. Like, yeah, things have happened, but like, guys, I fear we might have a 5-star. I haven't had a 5-star in months. You don't understand how exciting this is for me. I'm not even gonna lie. It wasn't a 5-star until like last third. Oh my God, okay. First of all, I'm gonna start from like when I last updated you, because first of all, I just read some incredibly written action scenes. This was the stuff of like genius. These action scenes were so interesting to read. They were so vivid. I said that I've been having trouble picturing this world, and then everything I feel like everything just clicked, and suddenly it became so vivid in my mind, and I was just in shock. I was like, it was just so strong in my mind. I could see all of our characters. I started understanding all of our characters. Well, I thought I understood all our characters. I feel like I need to process this. But yeah, the action was some of the best I've read in a long time. Pierce Brown's writing is genius. Like, I loved that. So immersive. He builds tension so well. I think with the short, fast-paced sentences and everything like that, Darrow is a really interesting character to be in the perspective of as well, because I feel like he almost like doesn't feel urgency until like the last possible second. And then when he like gets overcome with emotion, it's intense. It's very intense. And then I feel like everything happened in the last like 100 pages. What? I love Mustang. Oh, guys, there's so many spoilers I wish I could say right now. I'm not going to, don't worry. We have some really interesting characters to follow through the rest of the series. Severo, he intrigues me. I am very intrigued with that character, and I feel like he's the kind of character that like, I don't know what he's gonna do. Like, I don't know whether to trust him. I don't know. I can say that I'm going to be easily continuing this series. I get it, guys. The first book was like a prequel to this because it almost feels like I just read the first book in a series because of everything that happened. And if this was a trilogy, like if there was only 3 books in this, I would be questioning things. It makes so much sense to me that there are so many books in this world because I'm like, the depth that we just got introduced to in this world is insane. And if I only had one more book left, I'd be concerned. I loved it and I cannot wait to read Morningstar. Oh my God. I'm on like an adrenaline rush from that ending. I have basically been listening to The Diviners, the second book, Liar of Dreams, over the past few days, just in the background, and we are about halfway through now. I think I could finish this in like a day or two, to be completely honest, because I am having like this reading vlog has turned out so good. Because what do you mean? I've had, oh my God, those are really good books, but this I'm absolutely loving. What is really great about this one is we have really gotten to know all of our characters so much more, and Evie has really become just like one of our main protagonists, not just our main protagonist. We have a really great cast, all very different characters and all contribute to the story in their own unique ways that really enhances it though. Like this world is really rich to me right now. I've also got so many questions. We are kind of delving into the idea of like dream walking a little bit more as well. Really cool. And don't get me wrong, it's basically when you can visit other people's dreams, but like you are in the dream almost physically, like you can control the dream and you can control where you go, or you can go into somebody else's dream. That's a very rare gift though. We don't know many of these people. We've also been introduced to more characters, which I am really, really liking. I'm loving them actually. This is so underrated, to be completely honest. Evie's kind of annoying me. Evie's becoming a little bit annoying, but I think she's meant to. I think she's meant to be annoying us a little bit. And I am intrigued with some of our characters like Mabel and Jericho that we aren't getting as much on. But I remember I said when I read Diviners, the first book, what I really wanted more of was Memphis because I thought his storyline was really interesting and we're definitely getting more of that. And I kind of am feeling our paths begin to cross because we're jumping to a lot of different characters that don't necessarily, their paths don't cross. Like we have Memphis, we have Henry, we have Theta, we have Evie, we have Sam. Like we've got so many different characters. And whilst one or two of them have connections, they don't all. I'm hoping, like I'm crossing my fingers that they do overlap towards the end of the book because I would be really interested to see that. That dream walking is scary, guys. And I will say, if you're going to read this book, honestly, try the audiobook because it is one of the best narrated books I have read. It has some of the best voice acting. Maisie's in a very like cuddly mood today. The characters are all so well defined and I feel like I don't know, whoever narrates this, I need to look it up, but she has a really wonderful way of like differentiating and putting like accents on for our different characters because we do have really strong accents for a lot of our characters and I feel like that just makes it all the more immersive. It's just a very immersive book and the writing is quite simple, so it's very easy to follow as an audiobook as well. I mean, it is a YA novel, so I kind of feel like you expect that, but it's very simple but still very vivid. Like it's very easy to picture your world. Really, really liking it. Like a lot more than the first one, to be completely honest. I think just because our world was already established and like we already have all these spooky things going on. Guys, some of the dreams, they're freaking me out. I feel like I'm one who gets night terrors. So I like sleepwalk and everything like that. So I feel like I'm very prone like to scaring myself and getting scared in dreams. So maybe that's why it's like a little bit more creepy for me. But I find like the whole dream setting, like anything can happen and it'll be creepy because it's like in your dream. It's not like the demons coming out in real life, but when they're in your dream, they're creepy. Does that make sense? Or it's like when you wake up just after you've had a nightmare, that like when you're in that state of like just being terrified and trying to come back to reality, that's kind of what it's giving me. My plan is to try and read as much as we can. We might actually finally start reading the physical book tonight. I'm going to keep continuing and I think I'm going to enjoy it. Like I have not a lot to complain about so far. I feel like the theme of this reading vlog was honestly just like crazy plot twists because I I didn't see that one coming either, except this one was a really emotional one. I didn't really want that to happen. That was really sad. But wow, okay, so I just finished Liar of Dreams. I will say something I love about YA trilogies is, yes, you are left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Like, if you're in the middle of the series, there's obviously going to be intrigue as to what the next book has in store. But it feels so much more concrete and concluded than the other books I've just read in this vlog. Like, it feels so much more well-rounded. I feel quite satisfied. I feel some form of closure finishing this book, whether it's like Red Rising and The Wretch Divine. Absolutely not. I have so many questions. Yes, I will be continuing this. I did read the last little bit rather than listen to it, but honestly, I much prefer listening to it, and that is such a rare thing for me. I'm gonna listen to the third one, I think. I think I might just do it exclusively on audio, because I only read this now and then. I mainly wanted to listen to it on audio, just because, as I keep saying, the voice acting is so good. I just absolutely cannot ignore it. It really just brings the characters to life in my head so much more. I just think it makes such a big difference. Honestly, if you want to pick this series up, I'd recommend listening to it rather than reading it. I loved it though. I really did. This is going to be like, these are all easily above a 4-star rating. I would say 4.25 and above. These have all been so good. This was so dark and atmospheric and haunting and spiritual. I absolutely loved it. I also loved our characters. Evie really annoyed me, but to be honest, we did get a little bit of an explanation for that towards the end. She's going through some personal stuff, okay? And I feel like it was explained well, and you can kind of give her a little bit of grace. I'm hoping she has a bit of a comeback in the next one, but we really didn't focus on her much this book. We focused on our side characters so much more. I love Ling. I think she is so cool. I want more of her. I also, as I've said before, we really delved into all the kind of like the political state and the social state that New York was in the 1920s. And I think that was really interesting to see how that influenced our characters, how that influenced their daily lives. I didn't get the 5-star feel. I do think there were times that it was a little bit slower. They're thick books. Like, they probably could be a little bit shorter in my mind, but I just think the writing works so incredibly well as an audio, if that makes sense. Everything about this just works well as an audio. I think a dramatic reading of this could be really cool. Like, or what is it? An immersive reading? I'm not sure when like the one that I did with Red Rising, when it's all the sound effects and everything, I think that could be really cool and just really put you like in the center of New York. I don't know. In the first book, we were focusing on side characters like Jericho and Mabel. And in this one, we really focused on more side characters like Lynn and Theta and everyone like that. Theta's a really badass as well. I really like her. Just a really great cast of characters, and their dynamics, like they're all such strong people. They all have such strong personalities, and having that difference in all those different perspectives, I think that's really good. One thing that is a little bit annoying is we do have a lot of different perspectives, and I don't love the layout of this book because it doesn't have chapter numbers. We don't know whose perspective you're in. You'll be jumping perspectives mid-chapter. Like, there's not a great layout to it. There's not a great plan to it, but you know, that's just little tiny semantics and stuff. Other than that though, I really enjoyed it. There is not a lot I can fault about it. I love Memphis. I love Theta. As I said, I'll continue this one on audio. I think there's one more book in this series, but please pick this up. This is probably one of the most underrated series I have read in a long time. On that note, my microphone and camera are about to die, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. But I feel like this was a really good reading vlog. I'm so glad we got these off my list. I feel like now I can go into my next week of reading and just, I have like, oh, it doesn't feel as intense. I've got like so much more freedom. I can pick up nice little fun reads, which is very much what I will be doing. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to have a little bit of a break. I'm also so happy we got these off my TBR, and this is your sign to pick up that intimidating book, because usually they aren't that intimidating and they are that amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've watched till the end, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.